I think we will begin by just doing a bit of presentations of what we submitted in our word and image portfolio. I don't know if anybody wants to start us off. Kirsten?
Yes, I can. Give me 1 minute. So, I was going back through my interactive PDF and it appears it's been a little bit, so some of the links aren't working. So what I'll have to do is just kind of scroll down through it. Um, so I'm going to try to share this and get it to a way that you can see it whenever I put it into preview mode. Okay. Sorry, I can't really see it because this thing is in the way.
You could drag it.
I'm going to try to put it into presentation.
Okay.
Can you guys see this?
Yep. Well, you can.
Okay. So I'm going to try to do this as smoothly as possible. Like I said, some of the links are broken. So it might go a little bit awry, but I can like just kind of skip through everything. So basically this was my interactive PDF. Whenever I created it, they really, like when I say they, I mean the professors really talked about how they wanted it to be laid out, how they wanted it to be displayed. Something I was really worried about in the beginning was it didn't look aesthetically pleasing with colors. And so um, I was really nervous. However, you just got to keep in mind like this is like your portfolio. You don't want everything to be the same color. So it is okay that there's like a variety in there. We'll just go through my first piece, which is my logo that I did for Stephanie Simpkin in Word and Image. Um, so I went through and took at the very end of her class, we did like the or at the very end of this project, we did the process works where we created all of this. Oh, okay. I'm going to escape and go back. Sorry. Uh, but at the very beginning where we did her process work, that's basically what I put into this presentation, was all of the process work from the beginning of her like the cover page and everything. Um, then let's see, this is my next piece. This was actually a piece that I created in graphic design tech. No. Maybe this was typography. But this is a piece that is based off of a graphic designer called Astrid Stavro. And this is my cookbook from typography. Basically, I really would like stress making sure that all of your pieces are easy to read. So you don't want to make them too small on a page, because if you get them too small on a page, they're not going to be able to look at the details and they could be like, what are you hiding? Like, what do you not want me to see in the details? This is a editorial piece from Word and Image. Oh, I don't think I can go back. I don't think, oh, yes. This is from typography. This is from Word and Image. These are just a poster series. This is from Book Arts. This was, so if any of you are planning on putting a piece in from Book Arts, this was one of my hardest pieces, because whenever I created it, I didn't really create it to be looked at in spreads. So I did have to go back and edit this quite a bit just to make it look visually pleasing in spreads, because of course you're in Book Arts, you're making it to be like formatted for a book. So just keep that in mind to give yourself a little bit of extra time if you are planning on using a piece like that. And I'm pretty sure that is all of my pieces. Is there any questions about anything specific that I showed or anything like that? Shay, do you have anything that you want me to add?
No, you did great.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So who would like to go next? Alex, okay. You have the floor.
I don't even have it open. Give me a second. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, not the InDesign document. I need a PDF. No, don't open. Give me a second. I'm sorry.
You want me to go? And then you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, you can go.
Okay. So let me share my screen.
Oh, I found it. I found it.
Never mind.
Okay. It's loading. Okay. So this, oh no, I want to open InDesign or Adobe. Okay. Please load. I'm sorry, guys. Okay.
It's okay.
So, oh my God. Go away. Okay. So this is mine. So a tip before I go through this. So Noelle is a stickler about stuff. I don't know if you guys have Noelle. So she is a big design person. And if you have several studio art pieces more than you have design pieces, she will probably not let you go through for portfolio. I just want to let you guys know that because that's what I heard from someone. So I got, how do I go back? Oh, you got your word and image stuff, and that's a must. I had my first project be the first thing to do. I did the logo, editorial, I did the poster series in word and image. I feel like they were the most successful. I did letterpress. So if you have any letterpress stuff in it, if it's very type focused, I would include it. It says, oh my God, I don't even know why I included this. This was my type design poster over Baskerville. I think it's horrible, but I included it. We did a movie poster series. They're not the best. And then I did a lot of illustration stuff. So the final project, the Goosebumps. And then I did she said to make it anonymous as possible, but I ended up putting this in there because I thought it was really good. And then I have I won't play this, but I did an interaction, a type of motion video in here. So that's what I got.
Yes. They had to been good enough for you to come in, like, shoot.
Yeah.
To the program, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like by including this, that it showed my progress between this and to what I got for this.
Yeah.
So
Sorry to interrupt you guys. I did forget because Alex's plastics piece reminded me. I did have another piece in the in my
You go ahead and share
if I
it.
can say it.
Yeah.
Um, what is it? Oh my gosh, my interactive PDF. Sorry, I had a mind blank. But I don't need to share it. I was just gonna let you know that it is important to include stuff like this. How Alex included his plastics piece. Mine was actually a piece from Interactive Design where it was a interface for a um, like a vending machine, and it kind of slid through everything, including interactive kind of pieces, like anything with videos. I think is like highly important considering that they're wanting an array of stuff. If you don't have anything for that like section, I would not freak out about it. But if you do, I would highly considering editing that piece specifically and adding it to your portfolio review.
I totally agree with Kirsten because a thing what they try to preach in our head is to show diversity. I mean, it really depends on the classes that you took so far, but if you do have classes like if you did take like digital illustration or interactive design one, it would be great if like maybe you can work on it. Maybe it's not portfolio ready, but maybe what if you make it portfolio ready? Because after you get done with the class, you could work on that. You could change that up. You could put your own twist to it. So it's like you don't just have to stick to the bounds of what you did in class. You could change the type, change the color scheme, you could do whatever you want to it. They just want to see that, okay, so she take this and created this, you know. So this is really good to show diversity in your portfolio, to show that you just want to try to step out of the box rather than showing a bunch of typography stuff and they'll be like, okay, you get typography. What else did you bring to the table, you know? So that's a good thing to keep in your mind.
Did you want us to show process work too?
Um, no, but for time, I would say like we could wait till last just so like just to breeze through it. But for now, we could just show like the presentations.
Wait, are we gonna show them how to do the interactive links?
No, because Miss Stephanie told me that they're gonna have like a Venmo tutorial of how to incorporate how to do the interactive links.
Okay.
I can go next.
Okay,
I don't
Macy.
know if y'all heard the doorbell. Okay. Let's see. 1 second, sorry. All right. Can y'all see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay. Yeah, so here's my portfolio, what I entered in. And since then, like I've changed it a lot, but this is what I had at the time being. So I try to incorporate a lot of different stuff, like everyone was just saying, like some graphic design stuff, like typography stuff, and then illustrations. So I'll start at the top. So here's, oh, I don't know why it's doing that. So this is on like separate pages. Hold on. I don't know why it's showing both pages, but I guess we'll just go with it. I'll just show you two at one time. Okay, so here's some of the illustration pieces I've done. And this one, I was super pumped about this one. This was my favorite. So I did some of those. And then here's the editorial I did in No Health class. And then here's another illustration. And one thing I would stress, which I wish someone would have told me, maybe not, stress isn't the right word. But I wish someone would have told me to focus on mock-ups. Because honestly, at this point, like before this, I didn't even know what a mock-up was. And this is just what a mock-up is, like trying to put it into like a real world scenario, like in an actual magazine. And that's just super important, especially now that we're in the upper division stuff. I've realized how important like mock-ups really are to put in there. So then here's stuff for some typography, and then another illustration piece and another mock-up. you can tell I have a lot of illustration pieces, and that's a lot of classes I was taking at that time. But that's all good. And here's some more. Then we were starting to get into some packaging in this class. That was one of the first packaging products we've done, or I did. And then here's some more like ads. So I utilized illustration in those, and then some more mock-ups. And then here would be my last one, and this one would be another illustration. And yeah, so you can see I used a lot of blue in my portfolio. But yeah, that's about it. Just the mock-ups I would focus on a lot. I wish someone would have told me that. So yeah, that's what I have.
Beautiful, beautiful, loving
Thank
it.
you, thank you.
Everybody did so good because it's like this didn't happen last year, so we didn't even see, like, you probably saw like snippets of like what previous students put, but it's like we didn't see like what people really submitted like last semester, like only like snippets. So like I think like, just looking at it, I'm like, shoot, so this is what I'm working against. Okay. So I really need to for my A game, So I feel so like this really is a good opportunity for me and for y'all, just
Yes.
see the beauty in the work.
We also were the first class to do the interactive PDFs because we were the first class that went through Word and Image where COVID was going on. So I hope that you guys really do benefit from this because it seems like a great opportunity, and tell your friends, like, because we're going to do another one of these after this. Because I feel like just being able to see the interactive PDFs, being able to see other people's layouts and how they laid it out can be very beneficial to your portfolio works and your pieces.
I totally agree. You hit the nail right on the button.
Yeah, and I want to add something too that I probably should have said during my presentation. But I remember like during this time when I was trying to put this together, that I was just so stressed. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to put in. This is gonna be so hard. And I know like in that time that's what it's gonna feel like. But honestly, I wouldn't stress about it. Like just put what you're most proud of in there. And even like if you're not proud of it, just do like an array of stuff. But it's honestly not as scary as I know I made it out to be. And the interactive PDF is a breeze. Like y'all will do good. I know it. But it's not that hard, I promise. And it's not that scary. But I just wanted to say that because I remember I was like freaking out during this time. I remember I was at a coffee shop just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I felt
That
that.
was
Yeah, think about what we're going to do if you don't make it. I was like, okay, so how my life can turn out if I don't make it? Okay, so I have a year. Okay, go take a year more off school. Oh no, my scholarships don't apply that long. Wait a minute. So I was like having a whole like, what's gonna happen if? And then I got the email. I was like, okay, my life back on track. It's back on track.
Just to kind of, oh, sorry, Shay.
You good? I was done.
Just to add to that, when you're putting your pieces together, remember confidence is key. I was not very confident in my own pieces. However, since then, I have learned because I heard this quote and it has really, really helped me in just my mindset over things. Be your biggest fan, be your own biggest fan of your artwork. It is okay to have confidence in your artwork. If you're not your own biggest fan, who else is going to be? You're going to have to love your stuff in order for other people to love your stuff. So when you're putting this together, just keep that in mind, be confident in your pieces and tell yourself that you can do this, and that will help you go a long way.
I was gonna say something, but I was like, I'm gonna leave that for tips and tricks. I was like, I'll leave it for the next session. It's fine. I'll just write it.
Sorry, Shay. I want to say something also about when you finish your portfolio, it's honestly really satisfying to see what all you've done. Like you will be so proud of yourself once you get it all in there. Like I remember like when I finished my stuff, I was like, oh my God, I did all of that. And I was like, wow. Because you think you might not have anything. You're like, I don't, oh my God, like what the heck am I supposed to put in there? But like everyone else is saying, like put the things in there that you love. And if you don't necessarily love them, put things in there that make you stand out and that give you like that show an array of skills that like you can do like type layout, you can do magazine layout, but you can also be an illustrator if that's what you love to. Like show that you have different skills in different areas if that's possible. Even if you do have some like traditional drawings or paintings and you're proud of them and they're done well, add them because that shows that you can also do that as well. That makes you stand out from other people too. That's my wisdom for now.
I love it. I love it. So
Don't be negative because I kind of still am negative, but I was so negative about my stuff in Word Image, and Noelle would not have it. Like if you are negative about your stuff, she will not help you. Like she won't help you, or like she will not give you a critique or whatever, and she will move past you. And so I've learned from that, and I'm less negative. I'm still a little negative about myself, but I just you just gotta learn from it. You just gotta learn.
okay, so I'm gonna show y'all my portfolio. No playing. Just move this out of the way. So this is my portfolio. This is the beauty, and I'm like, why did I put that? What? But so I have the magazines. Not sure if the links are even working anymore. Probably not. We're just going to go it from here. But this is like the branding that we did in Word and Image, and we had to create them 100 sketches. What I always had a field day for. I was like 100. Oh my gosh! But I did some mock-ups and everything, and then this was completely different what I did in graphic design technologies. I switched this up. I completely changed the design, keep the concept, but completely changed the design. And I said, okay, now I like it. I'm gonna put it now. And then this is the magazine. I like Photoshop like a bunch of different photos together. And then like I combine like the lettering and everything, try to work with typography, and then continue on with the magazine. And I think this one, I think I changed it up a bit. Maybe not, can't remember. This was in typography, I think, hard think. And then this was an illustration because I was like, okay, I need some illustration. But the original one looks horrible. And I was like, okay, time to change this up again. So this was like really took up some time trying to make things that I was like, okay, I love this. But now I'm like, yeah. But I just was like, let me like recreate it so that I now like it. So like I have a portfolio piece too. And then this was a wood print, was in printmaking to show diversity once more, the invert expert. This was also in typography, which was us, like we had to choose, like we got a person who created a type, and it was Saban. This was the interactive piece that I did, and I think in interface. So I was really just trying to be like, okay, how can I show diversity in the piece, add series. This was another vending machine, another interactive piece, and it is a click to begin it. Doesn't work no more. But if a hint, what I just remember is that I think it was Stephanie Cobb. She told me like if you didn't create everything that was in the video, like just mention that some features like was not created by me. Like if you got it from the internet. So I think some of my icons, I didn't have time to create like 100 icons. So I got it from the internet. I think it was Icon. It was a site, Flat Icons. And she was like, just put that you didn't create the icons basically. But that was my portfolio. Like, yeah, so this was it. Yeah. Don't know how to end it. Trying to remember. There you go.
I can show mine.
Okay.
Okay, guys, welcome. So mine is a lot of illustration,
Lizzie, you put your Harry Styles in there. I'm happy.
as I should. Love that man. So I put my branding stuff from Word and Image in here from Noelle's class, and my psychic buzzings was based off of fortune tellers. So these were like tea bags and teacups, and these were ads from that, print and digital. And go back up. These, I would also stress mock-ups. Mock-ups make everything look so much better, and I wish that I had put a few more of them in my portfolio. But these are my ads from Word and Image as well. Also illustration based. Love illustration, if you can't tell. But at the time, I was also taking a Tony's digital illustration class, and I got a lot of good pieces out of that I was proud of. So I wasn't really afraid to put those in my portfolio. And then I love this one, looks like a comic book. We have that one. And then we have my magazine. I love my magazine. I love some good organized type, guys. I can't get enough of it. It's so nice. But I took a different route with this one, and I did something that I was a little uncomfortable with, and I took like an art history take with this magazine, and it was really fun to learn stuff about Degas. He was a very interesting man. So I literally did an article about that man and his ballerinas. And then we have a pattern. I love patterns, which is a lot of fun to do. And I have a lot of array of colors in my portfolio. And that was mentioned before. Show that, because that's really nice for them to see. But what I tried to do was kind of cascade similar colors down my portfolio. So if something sort of matched up or was sort of in the same color scheme, I tried to make it flow down the page as much as I could. So these are kind of similar colors. These are sort of in the same color palette. So I wanted to sort of guide you down the page as much as I could. My Harry Styles piece from Digital Illustration. Thanks. And then this was my Blu-ray cover, which I do wish that I had a mock-up for that I never got to do. I also can't draw cars, just ignore him. But it's my Goosebumps piece, which I'm still proud of this piece. Love her. She's so cute. She's so scared. And then I included this from Typography. This was my zine. And this was all hands done. So I don't know if y'all have had Stephanie, but we did this in COVID. And so almost everything you see, I did in watercolor, and I scanned it in. And then I added type to some stuff. So you can also play around in the digital world with combining traditional media and digital media. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend. A lot of work though. If you love traditional stuff, that's what I would also recommend. But that's my portfolio. I would probably change a lot of things. I would add some mock-ups, but I'm honestly still pretty proud of these pieces. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So again, just put stuff in there that you love and that you're proud of.
Was that everybody?
I guess so.
Ayana.
Yep. I'm gonna present mine. I guess I'm gonna also weigh in the tips and tricks, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me make sure I got everything. Okay, let me go on the full screen here. Oh, wait, make sure it's on that one. All right, wait, is this the first page? This is the first page. Okay, here we go. So this is my portfolio that I submitted in. You know, So what I have up here first is like things that I have in for word and image. I think this was like my first branding identity project that I had for Stephanie, called Bright and Bubble Eye. And of course, we had to make some business cards, the logo itself, and then like, different color palettes and like applying it onto mock-ups, like how it would look on a digital format and on like, on a product. And I know for this portfolio, I at least submitted like 2 interactive works. I think it was Stephanie's Cobb interface class, and we worked with Dreamweaver, and I was completely new to that app, and it was a hassle, but I was happy I got through it. And this is like another project that I did of the interface class with Stephanie. And I think this was a digital collage that I did for my graphic design technologies. This is just one of the collages that I made. And I know I have about like, 3 pages um, like displaying my work. This is like some more word and image. This is like editorial stuff here for I think a magazine that we had to make. I really like the cover page, but like afterwards, like I really didn't know what to do because I was so new to this. And then we have like some posters I did, part of word and image for like Stephanie Smickens. And this is like some things that I did for typography, and I was chosen to do Futura. I think it was by random selection, by the creator Paul Renner. And afterwards, when showing off like projects that I did in like other courses, I think I asked a question about including like personal work. I think that's the 4th page here. This is the 4th page. So I can't remember if I asked Noelle or if it was Stephanie, but I asked if it was okay to like include personal work. So like some of this stuff wasn't required for my classes, but like more of just like personally what I did on my iPad. And if you want to include personal work for your like portfolio, that's fine to do. I think they would prefer, or I think it's best that you like present that at like the last page. And I have like full images like to the personal works for that. And this is that's for graphic design. This was for I think printmaking 1. And this was for Douglas Dabb's digital illustrations class. And we made, I know like project that I liked the most out of that class that I really enjoyed was the character design project and the pattern making project too. And just to like share like, some tips, like when you're designing your portfolio, looking back on it, I kind of wish I like, added some sort of design, maybe some colors, add in some shapes to kind of like showcase some character. But I would like, maybe like kind of like add in like a lot of color and shape, maybe for like the cover page, like right here, but not a lot when you're displaying like, full works of your display because you want to know you like, because this is like mainly focused on like, your work and it's going to be speaking for itself. And you can like choose out some interesting type like for here, but you want to make sure like when you include type that it's going to be easily readable, for whoever's going to be judging it. And I think when I was given a worksheet, like everybody else was given a worksheet about the portfolio, I don't think they really needed a brief description of like each project. And I don't know if they changed that up, but if they haven't really mentioned that, maybe you can at least like, right here, like, showcase like, where this project, what course you took it in, and maybe like briefly talk about it, but just briefly though. What else did I do to this? I feel like I added in something. And I guess that was it. Oh yeah. And then I like had like down like thank you for your time. You can end it off like that for your portfolio, like that you concluded it. But other than that, that's all I could think of. And there was some tips like mentioned, like, I wish that I included mock-ups. I didn't think we could do that, but I really wish I did do it. So that too. But that's my portfolio.
I recommend. I don't know who I heard this from. I think it was from Noel.
Mhm.
Gene is really good at like finding typos and stuff. So make sure you do not have typos in your work when you are choosing what to put in your portfolio, because apparently Gene is really good at sleuthing for those. So
And like also before you submit your portfolio, I recommend like testing it out, especially in Acrobat to make sure the links works. Like I know I like exported my portfolio about 4 or 5 times and I was able to find several mistakes. So like make sure that you export it, make sure the links work, till perfection. But there's that too.
if you have a link to, so like in mine, my typography in motion, it's the Mean Girls. I didn't show it, but the Mean Girls video. It has a link to a website. Make sure if you have a link to a website, make sure you do not delete that, like you delete whatever that website was, like whatever content website thing you did on that website. Do not delete it, because if you try clicking on the link and it will take you to an error if you delete it. So just make sure you don't do that.
I was trying to find, it was another one. It was something else that I submitted, but I can't even find it. But yeah, so I also, was that all the tips and tricks that you had, Diana?
That's all I could think of. Now I think about it too. I don't know if it was like a requirement, but I think correct me if I'm wrong, but like when it came, I think when you're kind of including videos, I think they prefer to do it with Venmo, I think.
Venmo or YouTube, yeah.
Venmo or YouTube? Okay.
Yeah, yes, YouTube, because all mine is with YouTube.
Okay, cool. All right then. And this took me like 2 to 3 days, but I'm gonna hand over time to Kirsten though.
Wait,
Yeah.
what do you mean? You mean Vimeo?
Venmo,
Yeah.
yeah.
You keep saying Venmo, because Venmo is this kind of like cash out. Like what?
man,
What's that to do with it?
they
And
look the
nobody
same
trying
to
to
me.
be so close to Nim. They should have been close to Nim.
Um, so before I start talking into time, I will say a couple of things that Ayana just hit on. So when you can use YouTube when you're posting your like videos and stuff like that. But something I learned while I was like nervously like pacing back and forth is that you can see when they view your stuff with YouTube, because you can see the views on your video. So I don't think that that's the best for your mental health. So avoid looking at it. Just don't go there, because they looked at mine, I remember very early on, and I just didn't like, of course, you have to wait till your specific time to receive your email. So I was like, oh, that's it. I haven't received an email yet. I didn't make it. And I'm like freaking out. So just avoid looking at like the amount of views that you've gotten on your videos and stuff like that, because it can really stress you out, and that's not good. We're not here for stress. We're here for positivity, and you're going to make it through. So that being said, a few myths that like I have heard is just like specific things about what lets you get through and what doesn't let you get through, like what stops people from going. So a lot of people who don't make it through, I have learned, is from basically with the interactive PDFs, it is technical. I know I was talking to one of my really like close friends, and she ended up not making it through. And the reason why is because her links broke, and she didn't take the time at the very end to look through her PDF because she ran out of time. So just to keep that in mind, leave yourself enough time for at the very end, you can go through and go through and go through your interactive PDF to make sure you have everything working, because that's the only reason why she didn't get in. All of her work's like pristine. So that is one reason why you want to go ahead and like get stuff started early. If you haven't started on your stuff, I say get started now. Start editing your pieces now. I know it seems like far into the future, but it's really, really not. So I will just tell you about my experience real quick. So for my pieces, I can go ahead and share my my interactive PDF again, just so you guys can, so I can scroll through it and let you know. Where am I? There we go. So for this piece, I had changes that I thought would not take long. How I did it is I had a sheet and I basically wrote down every project that I thought I was going to add, and I took how long I thought it was going to take me to edit those, and then that's how I decided how much time I was going to give myself to do this. Always give yourself a buffer time, because with this is all I had to edit was his nose. I had to go in and take his nose and like make sure, because before I didn't have a stroke on it and this line like kind of blended in, and so it just kind of looked off. That's all I had to do. Well, it ended up being such a process, because when you like go through and edit certain aspects, then it changes others. So just keep that in mind. Give yourself plenty of time to do stuff like that, to be able to know. This piece I completely changed for my original project. My original project was not blue. It did not look like this at all. And this piece that I originally wrote down was only going to take me a few minutes, ended up taking me almost a day to completely reconstruct, because I had to completely scrap the idea and go back through. This piece was a lot of technical. I had to go back through, and so I had certain things you need to look at is just like your type, making sure that there is a good amount of spacing, your tracking's right, your kerning's right, the little bitty things, and those little things add up to a great amount of time. So for like my headlines, for example, I would go back through and make sure that everything, all the kerning looks right. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, it still doesn't look right. But you know, just make sure you're kerning, your spacing, your make sure you don't have any widows, which I do. Don't make my mistakes. But basically what I'm trying to get at is, with each piece, give yourself a buffer time. Give yourself even though like with this, I thought that this was one of our last projects that we did, if I'm correct in word and image. I thought that I was only going to make a few changes, because I'm like right there, like we're just about to turn in our portfolio review, and I ended up like completely redoing like some of these pages and how they were laid out, and I realized, oh, I don't like this type, so I went back in. It does take a while to edit the pieces, because some of these things you're like, you don't know what looks wrong, but you know that something needs to be changed, so you got to go in and like really comb it with what is that saying, like go through with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that everything looks like pristine. So hold on, I had my notes that I was looking at. So
Sorry, Kirsten.
you go ahead.
I just want to say, just so I don't forget about it, like for the links, like after you do your changes, put them all in like a folder that's like, say, like links for portfolio review or something, and make sure they're all in the same folder, so then you don't have any of those broken links like you had said about that girl Kirsten, because honestly, if you have it everywhere, you don't know where it is. It's just gonna make it hard for yourself.
Yes. Keep organized. Organization is key to being great with your time management, because if you're organized, you immediately make the process faster and you're able to go through a lot smoother. And it also like gives your brain like an easier time to breathe and know that like you have everything there. You just got to get it done. So one of my mistakes that I made, especially time management wise, was I thought, okay, how I'm going to do this is because I did start probably halfway through the semester editing my pieces, but it wasn't like I was sitting down and editing them. It would be like I would pull one up and then I would make small changes and then come back. And then it got down to about 4 weeks before or 3 weeks before the portfolio review. And that's when I was doing a piece a day, making sure everything was perfect. And so by the end of that, I only left one day, and that one day was the day that it was due for the interactive PDF. And I thought, I'm just placing my stuff in a PDF. How hard could it be? I was wrong. I pulled an all-nighter that night, and I think the deadline was like at 11:59 or something like that. And I got done at about 10:30. And don't do that. Because then that only gave me so much time to go back through, make sure that I had everything good and ready. And if there was something wrong, I did not have the time to change it. I really didn't have the time. I'm just grateful and thankful and blessed that nothing went wrong because like it takes a while to do those interactive PDFs. And if you've never created one, it's completely new and it's something that you do have to get used to. It's pretty easy to get the hang of, but it does take a while just to go back through and make sure, okay, this link goes to here. Okay, and this link goes to here.